Prince Andrew's arrest was the top story today, with his connection or potential alleged connection to Epstein. But what moved the stock market today? Before we dive in, just understand I am not a professional. If you hear any references to stocks, make sure you do your own due diligence, do your own research before you put any money to work. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for another episode. Let's get right to it. It is hot here in Mississippi, about 70. I think it hit like 75 today. It was crazy. We are in February. All right, so let's take a look at the scoreboard. S&P 500 closed just over 0.25% lower today. Fought back, which was nice to see. NASDAQ down 0.31%. Also fought back. And the Dow did essentially the same, down just over 0.5% today. We did see a spike in gold. Most likely that had to do with the tension when US and Iran, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And the VIX spiked above 20 again. Hopefully with NVIDIA reporting next week, we'll get a nice boost to the tech sector. And we'll talk about the PCE report tomorrow that might push shares higher, or depending on what the report says, could push shares lower. Market goes lower, the VIX is going to spike probably closer to 22 to 23 tomorrow. So let's hope that does not happen. All right, let's dive into the top stories that moved the market today. So before the market opened, Walmart had their earnings. I'm pretty sure they beat in the top and bottom line, but the thing that kind of soured the market was their guidance miss. So they beat Q4 estimates, but 2026 guidance disappointed, setting a risk-off tone that dragged major indexes lower from the open. And hence, that's why we saw that the scoreboards or the major indexes were all lower today. But as I said, we did fight back, so that was good to see. Iran tensions, and we saw a spike in oil. And when we said gold was up today, more than likely that was the leading factor to why gold ran up today, was the spike in oil and these geopolitical tensions. So Iran's Revolutionary Guard ran war games in the Strait of Hormuz. Crude pushed above $66, which is a 2026 high, and energy stocks surged while broader markets fell today. We're getting information, and we're still having blowback in that hawkish Fed minutes yesterday. So officials signaled rates may need to rise if inflation stays sticky, effectively pushing back against any near-term cuts despite Trump's pressure campaign. I don't think Powell is going to do anything to benefit whatever Trump says he wants. Looks like the committee is going to operate for higher for longer until there's some type of relief, or they see inflation is not as hot as it currently is. So we'll get more data coming up, and tomorrow we'll get some more data, PCE inflation data. That's coming Friday, I believe Friday morning around, I think it'd be 8:30 Eastern is typically when they'll release this information. Friday's PCE print, which consensus is 2.8% year over year, is keeping investors cautious today and pretty much probably all week as well. A hot number could further complicate the Fed's path. And again, they'll reiterate that higher for longer. The markets don't want to hear that. They want rates to be down, and that is going to push the market higher if we get lower rates. If we are higher for longer, more than likely we're going to tread in this consolidation period where we are right now. You want to see the S&P 500 specifically push above 7,000. It's kind of like in that 6,800, 7,000 range and just bouncing back and forth. And then last but not least, NVIDIA pre-earnings buzz. So Oppenheimer and Citi both reiterated bullish calls, building anticipation for February 25th, which is Wednesday's earnings report. This is kind of for NVIDIA always reports at the end of the quarter, but this is kind of looks like the market is waiting to see exactly what NVIDIA is going to report, and that's going to be a leading indicator whether or not the market can push to new highs, or could be worse. We could get back down to those February lows, if not lower. So hopefully, it looks like everything's green. We're seeing Meta that's investing in NVIDIA chips and their whole ecosystem, so that's good to see. A lot of that spending from the hyperscalers like Meta, Amazon, Google, looks like some of that money is trickling to NVIDIA and some of NVIDIA's partners. Take a look at Vertiv Holdings. That stock has been performing very well this year. So it'll be big. Everyone will be watching, whether they're invested in NVIDIA stock individually or not. Everyone will be watching to see what their report says, what Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, has to say about the AI trade, and what's the outlook for 2026 and beyond. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode or there was any information that was helpful, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the page. I'll see you guys next time.